How's it going out there, YouTube? My name is Jesse, and I am the curator for the Golden Age, and this is another...
Lost Heroes of the Golden Age.
Yes, this is Lost Heroes of the Golden Age, and we're winding out Timely Week with,
Why are you doing a Christmas special?
What are you talking about?
You're doing a Christmas special in June.
What about the two heroes that we're reviewing would make you think that this is a Christmas special?
Jack Frost.
Just because one of the heroes is named Jack Frost doesn't mean that it's a Christmas special. He's a hero from the Golden Ages.
Why the name Jack Frost?
I honestly have no idea. I guess that they wanted to play around with the elements of ice. Since we already had a water guy and a fire guy, might as well bring in an ice guy. He came in around the same time. It just didn't make very much of an impact.
Why not more popular?
I have no idea. Yes, we are doing Jack Frost. We're also reviewing Thin Man. Two of the characters of the Liberty Legion that I haven't covered yet, besides Bucky and Patriot, but I've mentioned Bucky so many times. Yeah, these characters didn't have much fanfare in the Golden Age. In fact, Thin Man was a one and done. But they had a little bit of life with the Liberty Legion and moved into some of the invaders before the publication would eventually end. I think the door is wide open to bring back both of these characters, early Iceman, early Mr. Fantastic. I think I actually mentioned that in the intro of the video about how these guys could come back. There's plenty of room for these characters. I mean, we keep creating new characters with powers that are very similar to these characters. Why don't we just bring back the old ones, make them part of the part of today's storyline? Anyways, let's go and cover these two characters to wind out Timely Month. I've got a small little intro and then both of their first appearances. And considering Thin Man was only one and done, his only Golden Age appearance. So let's go ahead and get this one started. So I have a little bit of a lead-in for this. Both of these characters made more of a splash with the Invader comics as part of the Liberty Legion than they ever did in the Golden Age. Now, Jack Frost did have 4 appearances, but even though he was being a hero, he was always under the gun from the police because they thought him to be a criminal. I mean, jumping the gun there. Thin Man, one and done appearance in the Golden Age. Now, he definitely would have a more successful run with the Invaders and would even show up in the New Invaders. Now, every now and then, when talking about the Golden Age, Thin Man or Jack Frost might pop up. Jack Frost, there may have been a little explanation about him in modern comic books through a Captain America storyline where Thor remarked that Jack Frost may be Asgardian. That storyline has never been delved into, so we don't know if that's the case. Thin Man, well, like I said, he popped up in the New Invaders, hasn't been around since, I believe, 2014. The door is wide open for both of these characters to make a resurgence in a big way when Golden Age timelines are concerned. Like in Marvel Projects, Thin Man had an appearance in 2 issues, but Jack Frost wasn't there. They like to mention these guys, but the door is wide open for both of them. What I thought was really interesting about Jack Frost, with his 4 appearances in the Golden Age, he was wearing a suit in several issues, which I thought was kind of weird. Now, yeah, I'm not a big fan of heroes who only wear trunks. I like them to wear clothes. But where Jack Frost was concerned, I really didn't think of him only wearing trunks. It was probably because the fact that he was covered in ice. Well, I mean, he basically was ice. It probably didn't register because, like with the Iceman Bobby Drake, his outfit is on under the ice. So I probably was equating that in my head when I was looking at Jack Frost. But no, that's a different case. These are just two guys who I just thought we would cover to round out Timely Month. They made a splash with the Liberty Legion. I think it was interesting. They both appeared in Marvel Premiere, and they had to go save the Invaders. So that's where they made up the Liberty Legion. I believe the Liberty Legion was made up of Bucky the Patriot, Miss America, the Wizard, Red Robin, Thin Man, and Jack Frost. Now, Bucky did go and seek out all the members except for Jack Frost, who would show up at the end of the issue. And I think it was interesting, they were following his issue with the cops to where they were. Because the Invaders in the Liberty Legion comics were supposed to be taking place in World War II. So, with Jack Frost already being at odds with the cops, it translated into that. But then as part of the Liberty Legion, they fought the Invaders. But like I said, the door is wide open for either one or both of them to make a return. They have an interesting set of powers. I think that they were the early stages. Jack Frost was an early Iceman. Thin Man was an early Mr. Fantastic. So let's go ahead and review the origin story for Jack Frost, and then we'll see the one and done for Thin Man. And then you'll get a better idea of where these characters, how they started off, and where they might have gone in the future if they had continued in the Golden Age. Jack Frost, real name Jack Frost, first appeared in USA Comics #1 in 1941. The creator was Timely Comics, and the publisher was Timely Comics. The creator was Stan Lee and Charles Nichols. We come to the first page. Jack Frost. Got the name written. Yeah, Stan Lee, right there in the ice. The far north, challenging, mysterious, foreboding, the land that no man really knows. In this great frozen waste, surrounded by the eternal deathly quiet, lives a person we have heard of but few men have seen, the king of the cold, Jack Frost. I'm Mr. White Christmas. Okay. Even though he breaks through the paneling here, yeah, there's another arrow. You want to know why there's an arrow? Because the paneling here sucks. Because the second panel breaks through the top panel, it looks like that's the first panel. That's the annoyance I've had. Your clumsy drawing created you to have an arrow where one was completely unnecessary if you didn't over-panel the person from the second panel into the top panel. That when your story flows, you don't need arrows. You screwed up with how you drew this. All right. One day, something occurred to disturb the quiet of Jack Frost's icy domain. A dying man crawls across the frozen waters and mutters feebly for help. But there are no ears to hear him save those of the Arctic gulls of those of Jack Frost. Do I hear a human's voice? First time in centuries. You see, that's the main problem right here. Even his speech bubble is in the very top paneling. I know, I'm going on a little bit on about this, but this is a perfect example of you paneling wrong. A startling figure emerges from the iceberg. Even the square that describes what's happening in the third panel is overlapping in the very top panel. Now, I'm probably going to have someone saying, and I'm going on a little bit about this, but this is the one thing that you cannot do. That's why you need an arrow. This does not flow. The first time I read it, I didn't see the arrow, and I got a little confused reading the first three panels. A man in trouble. I must help him. Like a gray ghost, Jack skims over the ice and at breathtaking speeds towards the fallen man. Now, he confronts the falling man, and he says that his name is Dr. Forbes. He discovered gold in Alaska, and Mike Zebby tried to take it from me. He shot me. Saved my daughter. New York. Jack Frost takes an oath. Dead. I have heard that crime flourishes throughout the world, but it has not reached my land. I will avenge the deed and prevent more like it. You have heard crime flourishing. How? I don't see a base. I don't see radios. How in the world? You said that the crime hasn't reached your icy shores. How in the world did you hear about crime flourishing throughout the world if it hasn't reached you yet? Anyways, he takes the dead man and freezes him Captain America style. Meanwhile, the New York Police Commission, Brian, is having a heated conversation with his chief detective, Hal Jenkins. I know, Jenkins, I know. We all know that Zebby must have killed Dr. Forbes up north, but we can't prove it. Now, they're arguing about the very same thing that Jack Frost is coming in at. And Jack Frost appears. I am Jack Frost. I have come from the north to help you fight crime, and to fight one man in particular. Are you kidding? Why, he's batty. This guy is made of ice. Why do you think he's insane? Anyways, they just want to have a go at him, and he doesn't understand why they're being so reluctant. So, let's have some fun with this guy. You guys are... Jack, if you slap both of them across the face, I would fully support you doing that. All right, Jack, suppose we let you help us. What can we do? Watch, I'll show you. I don't like fire, so he uses his ice and puts the cigarette out. And then he makes stalactites come from the ceiling, and they start dripping on the men below. I'm catching cold. Clancy, O'Donnell. Why are the cops Irish? Clancy, O'Donnell, Murphy, come in and grab this lunatic. Why are all your cops Irish? Okay, so they call in the cops to apprehend the guy who's made out of ice. So he leaves, but he leaves a calling card, JF, in an icicle. And he somehow finds himself a suit. Wearing sufficient clothes to cover his icy body, Jack Frost locates Zelby's apartment. You're covered in ice. Isn't that already your costume? Anyways. In the apartment, we see that he's got a girl tied up, and he doesn't know where the gold is. He wouldn't tell us where he hid the gold, and if you don't talk, we'll take care of you too. She doesn't want to talk, and then Jack Frost shoots an icicle out of nowhere to untie the bonds. I believe I interrupted you, Mr. Zelby. You were talking with Miss Forbes here. Were you not? Please continue. Who are you, and how did you get in here? I'm Jack Frost, and I have come to punish you for the murders of Dr. Forbes. And then Jack Frost starts to get into an altercation with Zelby and his men. How can I show Mr. Zelby if you... Or it's like, one good turn deserves another. How can I show you, Mr. Zelby, if you pay no attention? Now let's see if you can take it, wise guy. So he starts fighting the guys, and then he decides to strip. The Lord of Storm takes vengeance upon the puny evildoers, and then he blows them with a icy wind. Now she goes to hug him, not realizing that he is actually covered in ice. Oh, you're so cold. I tried to warn you. Now as they leave, let's see, undisturbed by Jack Frost or Alice Zelby's plan, their destruction by causing a fire. So he tries to burn down the building because they figured that he's made of ice. The King of Cold goes into action. We'll have to work speedily. Jack Frost hurls streams of frost, freezing at the path through the fire. Now, they get out. He said, but you can rescue Zelby. You must. Only the law has the right to punish him. I'm sorry, Miss Fogue, but I can't agree with you. Zelby must pay for his crimes. So they make it out of the fire, and she wants him to help Zelby, and he's like, no, I'm not doing that. You can't make me. So as they're watching it, so now it's murder. Now it's a murderer you are, Jack Frost. You are under arrest, my lad. Get out of that fancy costume. So, oh my god, these guys are stupid. He didn't set fire to the building. He didn't kill Zelby. He just didn't rescue him. It's like the old Batman phrase. I don't have to kill you, but I don't have to save you either. Now, he's not wearing a costume. He's obviously covered in ice. So now you would arrest me like a common criminal, but I shall not let you. I came to your country to help you fight crime. And then he vanishes and he leaves his calling card. I don't know how he vanished. I guess that's a power he possesses. I just don't understand. But after this sort of reception, I've changed my mind. If I can't... Okay, so here's the last way. So Jack vanishes from their eyes of mortal men, leaving only 2 icicles as a reminder that he has promised to return. But after this sort of a reception, I've changed my mind. If I can't work with you, I'll work against you. The next time we meet, beware. And, you know, they treated him very poorly. They treated him very, very harshly and badly. He could have easily have become a criminal the same way that Submariner did. I'm going to do what I do, but I'll fight you while doing it. Could have happened. 4 issues, though. Thin Man, Bruce Dixon, first appeared in Mystic Comics number 4 in 1940. The publisher was Timely, and the creator was Klaus Nordington. I probably said that wrong. Okay, we start off. Thin Man. Bruce Dixon, the Thin Man, left a romantic, happy valley in the majestic Mount Calpertia. I'm probably going to say some of these things wrong. Of the majestic Mount Calpertia of the towering Himalayas to fight crime and evil in the outer world. He can make himself thin enough to go through where an ordinary man cannot, and has the little strength of a prize fighter. He is the super scientist. Allura, the pretty girl from the valley, helps him. Bruce Dixon, a young scientist on an American expedition to conquer Mount Calpertia, becomes lost in a blizzard. Whew, it's quite tough. I hope I don't slip. Made it. Now to make it to shelter and to ride the storm. And then he sees the cave and notices that there's a warm glow coming from it. So he decides to venture into the cave and sees a paradise. And then he faints. And there is an arrow. I've talked about this before. If you do your paneling right, you don't need arrows. I know. I'm arguing about something from the 40s, but it's just... Seriously, the arrows are annoying. It takes you out of your story because you have to be led instead of reading it fluently. So he wakes up and he's in a different costume, which means somebody undressed him and redressed him. So as he comes to, he goes, "What, am I dreaming? No, you're wide awake. Welcome to our haven, Kalaya. You can become thin now. Just concentrate." Yeah, you can become thin now. Like, this is a normal thing that people do. If someone came to me and said, you can become thin now, I'll be like, what in God's name are you talking about? But apparently he has no qualms. I am thin. How did this come about? You're a welcome addition to our society, but you were not perfect. So the Council of Elders operated on you with electronic rays. Well, first of all, that doesn't answer the question. Secondly, you experimented on him without his consent. We have a scientific haven here, and we have advanced far beyond the outer world. For instance, we just mastered the 6th dimension, and we're going into the 7th. That still doesn't explain anything. How are you guys becoming thin? You haven't answered a thing. Okay. Bruce, with the aid of the daughter of the chief elders, Aloha, I'm going to go with Aloha. Mastered advanced the scientists of Kalia. I'm saying this wrong. So there are living beings on Mars. Yes, very interesting ones. We signal each other often and exchange our scientific knowledge. That is a weird creature. It looks like it's got mechanical arms and legs. And it also shows that you guys aren't as smart as you think you are. You may have contacted Mars, but you're using their advances. I don't know. Okay. But Bruce, an adventurer at heart, is homesick for the rush of adventure into the outer world. No, Bruce. We've elected you a member of our society, and you can't go back. Oh, that's rather harsh. He didn't even ask to be a part of your society. You chose that for him. Okay, he brings out a television, and he says that there's evil in the world, and he just wants to help out. Take a look at this. And then we see this car come by and shoot up a taxi, and the taxi crashes and explodes. CEO Elder Evil rules the world. It will be my duty to fight crime and evil and let justice triumph. You have spoken wisely, son. Your wish is granted. Wow, it didn't take much convincing at all, did it? So, Aloha says that she wants to go with Bruce. I guess she just wants out of the city as well. Now, we see them building the plane, and this is a really weird one right here. It says, our perpetual motion machine shall stay aloft all the time. How? How in the world can you create a perpetual motion flying machine? Doesn't gravity have an effect on perpetual motion that wouldn't come into effect in the air? I'd really like to know the scientific explanation behind that. And this metal, Duragan, will last 100 years. I'm not worried about the metal. You probably got some scientific advances to keep the metal lasting for a long time. I'm interested about how your perpetual motion is keeping this thing in the air all the time. I don't think gravity works that way. Okay, so high is in the stratosphere. They turn on the electronic television. Okay. Why? That's the same sedan about to murder another taxi cab driver. So, as the car is getting ready to kill another taxi driver, the plane swoops in and shoots up the sedan, and the searing hot bullets make the car explode. I've got no comments. I don't actually think that that's the way it works, but I'm not going to say it doesn't. Okay, they turn on the radio, and it hears, attention, a mysterious plane machine, gun to murder car under strange circumstances, reward offer for... Okay, wait. You just said that the plane gunned down a murder car. You said gunned a murder car. So why are you offering a reward for a plane that killed a murder car? Are you actually more concerned for the motor car than the person who stopped it? That's what that sentence says. They're offering a reward for the person who destroyed a car who was killing people. Your priorities are severely screwed. Okay, they say that they're going to keep their work at nighttime so that something like this doesn't happen again, where people are more concerned about the people who are stopping the evildoers than the actual evildoers themselves. So we go to another scene where this guy goes, "No, you rats, I won't pay protection money." "Jim, take that with my compliments. Jim, you'll be killed. Now get out of here." Now these guys run off, which is weird because they fell down, well, they were punched down the stairs. And look at the distance they fell. And they're not going to walk off easy. So the Dugs report to their chief guy. He won't walk over the protection fee clip. Nobody crosses Clip Walton and gets away with it. Okay, so that night they actually land the plane because for some reason they know that this guy Jim is gonna get kidnapped or something. I can only surmise because I've read where it leads to, so that's the only summation I can make, but I don't know how he knows. It isn't fair, Bruce, and he says, look, I need you to stay with the plane in case I need it. So, using the advanced technology, he makes the car stop and he slips into the back. Nothing wrong with it. Of all the queer things, oh, you can't say that. It's working again. Well, I'll be. Okay, so they get to the compound or mansion of Clip Walton. Won't Clip be surprised? His fences are not narrow enough to bar a really thin man. Who would have bars to bar someone who can go incredibly thin? That would be useless waste of money. We keep the bars separated so we can actually see who's on the other side. If the bars were kept so close that even you couldn't get in, then the gate wouldn't serve a proper purpose. Okay, well, he sneaks around the compound and he gets in and he surprises the bad guys and he starts to knock them out, bashing them here and fro. And then he gets hit from behind and is unconscious. Take him for a ride. Take them for a ride. I'll bump them off myself. So he gets tied up in the back of the car and he says that the bonds won't hold him once he becomes real thin. You should learn to tie knots. Attaboy, stranger. Okay. Attaboy, stranger. Anyways. The car veers off and he leaps out just in time. I hope the taxi driver is not killed. What would you have done if this crash had killed him? Okay, so all the crooks start to stumble out of the car and he knocks out one of them. And then the plane comes down and shoots everyone. You're not getting away with this, you... Hashtag symbols. Oh, but I am. Good girl, Laura. You're a manna from heaven. Okay. He knocks out Chip. You'll pay for your crimes. And in that morning, we'll go ahead and read the last panel. As the police commissioner awakens, he finds Clip Walton tied to a chair in his room. Chip Walton, and enough evidence to send you to the hot seat. Here's a note. Compliments of the Thin Man and Allah. Who can they be? Well, you will never know because this is one and done. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed all of the timely characters. There's a lot. But don't worry, the calendar always repeats, so Timely Month will come around again. Next month, we are going to be doing Ace Month. I didn't cover all the characters from Ace that I wanted to the last time I did an Ace Month. This might be the last time that I do an Ace Month. We're going to start with another one of their patriotic superheroes. Ace did have a number of them. So we'll start it off leading into the month of July and cover the characters in Ace that I didn't get to do before. So until then, I'll be seeing you.